Immediately after such a feel-good yet action-packed episode, this show goes out of their way to make us scared shitless of their big bad. Welcome to this week's review of Shaman King. While visiting Lyserg at the beach, Yo has a run-in with the X-Laws, who are themselves prepping mentally for a big match in the Shaman fight the next day. Before I properly start with my review, I want you to start the conversation in the comments below. We talk Shaman King every Friday, so make sure you let me know your thoughts on this episode, on the show in general. And if you like what you see here and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button if you haven't yet. If you always want to join in the conversation on your favorite movies, TV shows, and anime. This will have spoilers for the entire episode as always, and the first half of this episode is really interesting, as Yo just proves yet again that he's such a good guy. He goes to visit Lyserg at the beach just to check in on him, just to see how he's doing after that very mentally draining match, that mentally abusive match he had with the Iron Maiden Jean and with Marco. And Yo isn't even trying to get Lyserg back on their side, he's just checking in on him, but soon enough he is intercepted by Marco and all of the X-Laws, and even Jean-sama, who tells Marco to stop his physical abuse of Lyserg. He comes around and slaps him, he threatens to shoot Yo, but Jean is just asking for them all to calm down, let's have a peaceful come together. She asks Yo to join them for dinner, for a meal, but Yo refuses. He has to go home because Anna is waiting for him. And we all know how Anna gets pissed, and you don't ever want to piss Anna off. Something that I really like to see here is the synastry in Jean's invitation. That's one level of sinister because we've seen how she really is. We've also seen how Marco is extremely, to a scary degree, dedicated to their cause and to their leader, the Iron Maiden. But Yo is so nonchalantly not caring about this whole situation. He doesn't take them seriously, nor does he want the fight in itself. He will fight if he has to the point where at one point Marco is still pointing the gun at him and Yo just comes at him with Amidamaru on Harusame. Already the weapon is there, he's got his Furioku, his oversoul ready to fight, and Marco does not even see them coming. Even Jean-sama herself tells Marco that he's no match for Yo. Yo has far surpassed his level. In fact, he could beat all of the X-Laws if he wanted to, I bet. But I also really like seeing that Lyserg wasn't like immediately converted and became an extremist either. He is getting accustomed to being in this group. He believes in the cause and he wants to help them because they want to defeat Hao as well, but he's not immediately brainwashed into being one of them. He's still being inserted into this group, which goes to show a little bit of nuance, and I appreciate that. And later in the episode we'll see a little bit more of that, but we'll get to that when the time comes. We move on to the next day, where we don't even see one of the matches. We just move on, cut to the next day, one of the matches is over. The Hanagumi, I believe that was the team name, the three girls from House Squad, they completely obliterated their opponents. They're done. But then it's the X-Laws versus Hao's team. Or really, versus Hao, because Opacho and the other guy, they just walk out of the ring and leave Hao to do with the X-Laws what they will. Everyone is watching. Team Duran, Yo's team, the X-Laws are watching, Lyserg is watching, the committee is watching, and it's just Hao versus three members of the X-Laws. And really, I don't know how this episode is 20 minutes long, because Hao literally raises one finger for each of the X-Laws members he's fighting. He immediately just raises one finger, and the Spirit of Fire raises one finger and pierces through Melly, one of the members of the X-Laws, so she's dead. And as the next member of the X-Laws comes up, Kevin, who's the weirdest looking dude, or at least the funnest looking dude, but his name is Kevin. I find that really funny. He apparently has a backstory with Hao, because turns out he is fucking Freddy Krueger behind the mask, which had me laughing immensely. Apparently that was Hao's doing 10 years before the current events that are going down, and Hao Again, without breaking a sweat, he burns Melly's corpse on the Spirit of Fire's finger and immediately does the same thing to Kevin and his angel, his Ramiel. He burns them, only one finger, no sweat. But then Venstar, the last member of the X-Laws, is still standing, and Hao lifts up another finger and pierces him again. But that's when we meet our match, because this was all a plan from the X-Laws, from Jin-sama, from everyone, to examine Hao, to see what is Hao's secret, what is Hao's intermediary for his Oversoul, for the use of the Spirit of Fire. And turns out these three at least were actually pretty cool guys, pretty understanding of Lyserg's struggles as he's coming into the X-Laws and trying to become one of them, talking about how softness and kindness are very different things, and Lyserg is not soft, he is a kind young man. So just as I was laughing at these three completely dying in seconds, the show has to make me feel for them and make me feel bad about laughing at their deaths. And so this whole plan to try and find out Hao's secret, it works, and at the same time it doesn't, because at the end of the day, they did find out Hao's secret. Hao's intermediary is air itself. It's oxygen. Oxygen is something that fire needs to burn, so Hao uses the air around us itself to use the Spirit of Fire to give it power. And so Venstar, the last member standing of the X-Laws in this match, because other members are outside watching the match, he blows up a grenade inside that force field that surrounds the ring, and nothing happens. Hao is alive. He doesn't even have a scratch. The only thing that isn't there by the end of this episode is his cloak. That's literally the only thing that burned off. Outside of that, Hao doesn't have a mark on his skin. Yo is absolutely frustrated. At this point, Yo sees how seriously he has to take Hao. Even at one point, Manta wants to intervene. He wants to stop this because people are literally dying in the ring, and somehow that's not a disqualification. And Yo stops him because he knows Manta is gonna get killed if he gets in the middle of that thing. This entire episode feels like a demonstration of, oh, you guys thought Shin-sama was scary. Take a look at Hao, who literally is lifting fingers to take care of his supposedly powerful enemies. This episode is awesome. It feels at this point, at least for me, that my favorite episodes end being the ones focused on Hao and the showing of how powerful it is. I don't know what it is. It's not like I always prefer the villain-focused episodes, but in Shaman King, it's just how it's going down. The villain episodes, the Hao episodes are my favorites. So this was a great episode. It had me giggling out of nervousness because I'm watching these people dying with one finger and I'm like, how is scary, man. And so I think those are my thoughts. I don't think I forgot to cover anything. So I want to know what you thought of this week's Shaman King. Go ahead and start the conversation, if you haven't yet, down in the comments below. And remember, if you enjoy what you saw in this video, make sure to click that subscribe button and you'll always be aware of whenever there's more conversation about your favorites, movies, TV, and anime. Thank you so much for watching. You are the best. Remember to check out my review of Star Wars Visions, Dear Evan Hansen, The Card Counter, Many Saints of Newark. All those are up on the channel right now. This was a busy week. I hope to see you on those, and I hope to see you in the future. So until the next one, love each other and love the movies.